What I'd like to do initially is just really go through the new requirements of core R&D activities under the R&D tax incentive, do a comparison to the R&D tax concession definitions for core R&D activities, and then touch on in terms of some of the new phrasing under the new incentive around what is an experiment, what is in fact new knowledge, also touch on the excluded core activities, and a greater emphasis, as Bill has already alluded to and David, around contemporaneous records for not only your core R&D, but Karen will talk about support activities and also around classifying expenditure on those various activities. If I firstly now just go directly to the core R&D activities definition under the new tax incentive, you'll see there that the definition of core R&D is defined under Division 355, 25(1) of the Income Tax Assessment Act 1997. And it says there, and it's really important that you look at the words, that they are experimental activities, A, whose outcome cannot be known or determined in advance on the basis of current knowledge, information or experience, but can only be determined by applying a systematic progression of work that, 1, is based on principles of established science, and it's an and test, not an or test, and proceeds from hypothesis to experiment, observation and evaluation, and leads to logical conclusion, and again, an and test, part B, that is conducted for the purpose of generating new knowledge, and this new knowledge includes in the form of new or improved materials, products, devices, processes or services. Look, there's a lot of words and phrases in that definition that we as stakeholders need to get our head around and understand. If I now just go directly to a comparison, the R&D tax concession regime was introduced, as a large majority of you know, in 1986. So it's been around now for, being an accountant, I'm just trying to work now, over 20 odd years, nearly 25 years. And it's been pretty much tried and understood. And you'll see there that a core R&D definition was really SIE activities, which we all knew were systematic, investigative and experimental activities that involved either innovation or a high level of technical risk to outcome, and then the purpose of those activities was to acquire new knowledge or the creation of new or improved materials, products, devices, processes or services. So that was the tax concession definition of a core R&D activity. As I've already alluded to in the first slide, but mentioned here, the R&D tax incentive regime now defines core R&D activities are experimental activities, and they are based on those established science principles around hypothesis through to logical conclusion. And again, when you talk to various claimants, and particularly more so the technical people, their interpretation of this particular progression and life cycle of a core R&D activity can vary, and hence getting back to the original point around contemporaneous documentation to help support any determination whether an activity is in fact a core R&D activity. And again, it just duplicates there that the purpose of those activities again should be acquiring new knowledge or new and improved materials, products, devices, processes or services.